crazy cross stitch lady. Welcome to my craft room. I haven't been here for a while, but for those of you who have just recently joined me and subscribed, thank you so much. I really appreciate your joining us on the journey. And for those of you who have continued with me on the journey, I appreciate your being here as well, very much. So I enjoy getting to talk to you all, and I've missed being here. It feels like it's been quite a while, but we started school. And for those of you who aren't sure, this channel is a channel about cross stitch. I am a public school teacher living in central Kentucky, and school, like I said, has started. And the first few days are always rough because everybody's getting used to everything, and I have to talk a lot more and just do a lot more because the kids aren't working on stuff yet, really. You're just getting them into the routine and telling them about things, and it is exhausting. And the older I get, the more exhausted I get. So if you hear a teacher say there is nothing like first day of school tired, there ain't kidding. There's nothing like first day of school tired. So with me, it's like the first few days of school tired. So we got through that. I don't have too many more of those to go through, so I've done more than I have left. I just started year 28. And so I'm looking at retirement and doing some planning to see how much longer. I know I'm going to go for a couple more years at least, but I'm just going to see how that goes. So making some plans so I can cross stitch some more. Yeah, I am ready to do something different. I love the kids, but I can tell I'm getting tired, and I just need a change. So we'll see how it goes. I'll keep you updated on the saga. So anyway, we've gotten through 2 full weeks. We've been basically 2.5 weeks into the school year. And so things have finally settled into somewhat of a routine. And so I'm gonna, I thought I need to go ahead and get a FlossTube out. And so we'll do that. And I'm gonna show you some of the changes that I have made in my rotation, because I had a lot of whips in my rotation, and I was trying to get gifts done this summer. So I spent a lot of time this summer getting gifts finished. And so I really didn't have a rotation going because I had 4 gifts I was trying to get done. I can't show you any of them. I just made a video showing 2 of the gifts that I haven't given to the recipients yet. And I'm hoping the next few months I can actually give them to them. I went ahead and did a little video, and I'll just have to insert that in a FlossTube at some point so that I can actually show you what the gifts are, because I'm excited about them. I made my first pillow with one of those, and I can't show you yet, but you will see it at some point. You'll see it. And last time when I did a FlossTube, I could not find the notes that I typically keep. I've got a few pages that I keep of notes about what I want to do during the FlossTube. Lost it. I didn't know where it was, and now I can't tell you where I found them. So I've been scattered, been very scattered, but I think I actually have things more in order now, and I'm decluttering, and I have decluttered my stash of things that no longer really enthuse me. Our change it. Okay, let me back up. I really can speak because I do teach. I really can do this. But we have changing tastes in our patterns. That's what I was trying to say. And so my tastes had changed, and I took a lot of my stash to my local stitching groups, and was able to get rid of over half of it so that other people who would really enjoy those patterns can actually enjoy them. And so I've got a few more that I will share with you. I'm going to do some giveaways, probably not this one, but I will do giveaways after this, and see if any of you all would like to have some of the patterns that I no longer really want, but I would love for them to go to a loving and grateful home. So we'll see what you think about those. So let me start out with my shout out to a YouTube channel. And this time, find my notes here, my lovely notes that I actually have now. I have subscribed to Primrose Cottage Quilts and Stitches. Now, I knew about Primrose Cottage Quilts, and I've got a few of their patterns. I'm not stitching on them right now, but I do have them. They are ready for me to start stitching on them. But I like their patterns, so I thought, well, let me see. I like to see if designers have channels, because I just find it interesting to hear them talk about their stuff and what motivates them and all of that. So I checked it out. And of course, they had a FlossTube, and of course, they're more focused on their quilting, but they've got just as much cross stitch going on now too. So I watched a few of the episodes and I subscribed, and I just I feel like it's a mother with her girls, and one of the girls actually started it and runs the business, Lindsay. And I just feel like they have genuine hearts, and they love what they do, and they're very grateful for being able to do what they do because of the support that they've gotten. And I enjoy watching them talk about their different pieces and what motivates them, and when something's kind of got frustrating. So I just feel like they're very genuine and put their hearts out there. And so if you have not checked out Primrose Cottage Quilts, maybe you have some patterns of theirs, but if you haven't checked out their channel, I will put that down below. Also, I know my regular floss tubes, because I do other videos as well, but the regular ones always have timestamps. So I put timestamps in the description so that you can always choose which things you want to go to. If you don't want to or don't have time to watch the whole video, you can just click and go to the pieces that you are really interested in seeing. So those are always there, and depending on what kind of tutorial I have, if it's broken up into parts, then I will do timestamps for those too. So always look for timestamps in my description, because I try to put them there when I can, unless of course if the tutorial's on one thing, then I don't put a timestamp. But definitely for all my floss tubes, I'll put timestamps, and I try to put links down there. If I refer to something where I bought something, I try to put links down there too. So check that out. And always with the description, it doesn't ever show you the whole thing. You have to click more, and then it will show you the rest of it. So if you enjoy your visit today, I hope that you click the like button. And if you have not subscribed, I hope you do subscribe and join us on this journey with cross stitch, and because it's a lot of fun. And click the little bell notification icon if you want to be notified when you are getting another knock on the door from me in the craft room. Say, come on in, you can watch. So you can see my door is open. I usually close it because my husband is usually here and I don't want to disturb him, but I've got some boxes out there because, again, decluttering. So there you go. So yeah, and at the end of the video, you'll probably see like a little circle icon come up. If the circle comes up with my little icon thing in there, that is a quick and easy way to subscribe. If you get into the video and then you don't feel like getting down into the subscription, you can just hit that and it will subscribe you to the channel. So that's an easy way to do that too. Okay, so Primrose Cottage Stitches, I will put a link to their floss tube down in the description. All right, so here's what I decided to do, because Stitch Mania about kicked my butt, okay? So I tried Stitch Mania for the first time this year, and I had about, I think I had 16 to 20 whips that I was going to try to rotate through. No, no. And here's why. So I told you I'm a teacher, right? So it's May when we do Mania. Well, it's also Mania at school because we're trying to wrap everything up and we're doing our state testing, which they change the name of it like every 5 seconds or so. it's been a running joke, like how many different names we've gone through, and it's basically the same thing. So I was not able to really do Mania, so I thought, maybe if I do something in June, because June, I do have to do professional development for my job in June, but it's a little different than trying to wrap everything up with the kids in May. So I may do something, I may not do Mania, but maybe do my own little thing in June. Maybe I'm Junia. Who knows? I'll find something cutesy, cutesy way of saying it, because, you know, it's me and I'm the crazy cross stitch lady. So here we go. All right. So what I decided to do, because Mania didn't go so well, I said, okay, we can't handle this. So I decided to limit my rotation to 5. 4 of them will be just whatever I'm wanting to do. And then the 5th one will be a full coverage piece, because if you all have been with me for a little while, you know I like my full coverage pieces. I know some people are like, no, you know. So I get that. I'm with 40 count. I don't even want to get close to 40 count. No, can't do it. So anyway, full coverage piece. So we'll talk about my full coverage piece when we get to it. But I have, let's see, I have 4 whips, and then the full coverage actually is going to be a new start. And then I have one thing, one piece of haul for you. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. All right, so the first one, what I decided to do was I've got several whips, as you know now, in my stash. So I said, okay, let's just pull 4. And then as I get these finished, then I'll keep pulling from my stash. And then once I get all of them done, then I'll start doing some new stuff other than, I guess, my full coverage. If I get it done, I can pull a new one, who knows. But anyway, the first one is my month-to-month October. You know, so I've been working on all of these for a long time. So month-to-month October is by Stitching with the Housewives. And I'm doing this one because it is my birthday month. And so this is what it looks like. And they also have a their little roundabout up there. Roundabout, listen to me. So in Elizabethtown, we call E-Town, which is fairly close by. They've been sticking in lots of roundabouts, like everywhere. Everywhere's a roundabout. And I was told through the grapevine that they had gotten some kind of a grant and they had to put in roundabouts. I don't know if that's true. Don't really care. But I just know they're just sticking them in places where it would not make any sense to stick in a roundabout. The only one that I have found useful is when I go shopping at Kroger. It's on this little side road, and there on the side road, then you've got the 2 roads coming in, and nobody knows how to do a 4-way stop. Nobody even knows when you've got through traffic coming this way and you've got 2 sides this way to take turns. Nobody knows how to do that. And I've just decided that, you know, if you don't know how to do a 4-way stop, maybe you don't need to be driving. So I get like, it's not hard. So I'll get off my high horse now. I get a little irritated at that. But anyway, I guess I'm just channeling the roundabout. What do they call those? I don't even know what they call them. But anyway, they're round. So that one, but I'm doing this one down at the bottom. So that whole tirade I just went on just didn't even matter, did it? Yeah, but that's crazy. That's why they call me crazy. So for this October one, because it's my birth month, up here, this bird here, I'm not going to stitch this one. I'm going to put the number 6 for the day I was born. And then down in the barn, the block above the door, I'm going to put the year 1973 because that's the year I was born. So I have a 50th birthday coming up. So I have been counting down the 50 days until my birthday, and I've been posting on Facebook and doing a blessing each day. I should probably put it on Instagram too, but I just haven't bothered to. Yeah, Facebook's plenty. But these are the colors. Let me find, this is all being done with Classic Color Works. So I have Pumpkin Harvest, which is really pretty. And then this one is Hazelnut, Bean Sprout, and Black Coffee. I like Classic Color Works. This is probably the first time I've actually used Classic Color Works, and I really like it. I also found I like color and cotton too, so I like those over dyes. So here is how much I have done. I've got quite a bit done. This is stitched on a 28 count mixed berry Jobelan. I wanted this color because I didn't want black. Well, of course, because of the letters, I could have changed the letter color, but I just wanted something a little different. They've got theirs on white, but I don't know. I wanted something different, and it's not really showing up well on here. It's kind of a bluish background, and it's got some purplish modeling to it. So that's as far as I have gotten on this one, and I'm anxious to get it done so I can hang it up. It would be awesome if I could get it done before my birthday, but I'm not going to hold my breath. Just saying. I'm not going to hold my breath. Okay, this one is called My Angel Mother by Finally a Farmgirl. And this one looks like this. Just a silhouette. It says, all that I am or hope to be, I owe to my angel mother, A. Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln's hometown is Hodgenville, and that's where I grew up. That's where I was born, so I share the same hometown as Lincoln. He was not born in Illinois, so he was born in Hodgenville, Kentucky. And so I thought, well, he's my favorite president, and I thought it would be neat to have something of his. I've got a section for him down in my library downstairs, so I thought this would be neat to hang up there. This is 14 count parchment Ada. This is what I've gotten so far. Okay, there we go. So I like that parchment color. And I like that it's just black. I'm just using DMC 310 black. And it's just nice to be able to just stitch one color and just go, just stitch. So I like that. I've never stitched a silhouette, so I'm enjoying it. Okay, let go. Boy, you've got strong magnets when they are clinging to each other through the bags. So it's strong. All right, this next one is Tea Time by It's So Emma, which is Fat Quarter Shop's publishing arm, their creative arm. And I love these colors. These are the DMC colors that we're using for this. So 518 white, Blanc 962, 3731, 517, 988, 963, and 4. So this is what it's supposed to look like. This is part of their Stitch Quarterly series, although I did not buy this as a, or did I? Let's see. Oh yeah. There was one pattern that I bought it this is the one I think. I bought this just to see if I wanted to be part of their Stitch Quarterly Club, and I really liked it, and so I am part of their Stitch Quarterly Club. And if you look at, maybe, I think it's a couple of videos before this one, I do the latest Stitch Quarterly reveal, and it was a lot of fun. Okay, so this is where I am, and this is stitched on 28 count mushroom Lugana. And the bird was fun to stitch. The cups, not as fun to stitch, although I do like the rows, kind of give a zen quality to me. When I'm stitching the rows, it's kind of zen, so I do like it, but I think it's going to be really cute when it gets done. And I am already planning to finish and frame this and gift it to someone, because I know of someone who seems to really like this when they look at my progress, and so I will probably be giving this to them as a gift. Okay, and then, oh boy, Barn Sweet Barn. Phew, I've had a love-hate relationship with Barn Sweet Barn. So last year's Barn Sweet Barn from Fat Quarter Shop, this was a stitch along, and they had a particular star that they used. Well, I started stitching on, I think I got 2.5 stars done, and I was not really liking it. And I was stitching it on fiddler's cloth, or some of you might know it as oatmeal Aida. So I stopped. And then this year's came around and I was like, oh, I like this star much better. So I started this year's Barn Sweet Barn. And normally I go with my husband's advice, because it's very good advice. And it's funny that he doesn't cross stitch, but he knows about some of the terminology and he hears it all the time. And so I asked him for some advice on what fabric I needed to use. And he brought up the fiddler's cloth. He thought it looked a little more antique-y, and it's going to go on the barn that I painted, which I'll show you again later. So I started stitching January, and I thought, I hate this. It's like, I do not like this fiddler's cloth with this particular project. I just didn't like it. It just wasn't popping enough, because a lot of the colors are light, so it wasn't popping. So I said, okay. So they stitched theirs on 25 count White Cloud Lugana. Like, I've never stitched on 25 count. They do it up 2 over 2. So, like 12.5 Aidas. I'm like, okay, all right, I can do this. So I bought some 25 count white Lugana from Zweigart, because Zweigart's the brand, And for each star, there are only 3 colors. There's a white, and then you have a lighter and a darker version of a color. So January's is blue. So here are my colors. Okay, so there's like 157, 794. 794 is just a little bit darker. It's not really reading on the screen very well. And then white, okay? So got that. Now, oh, and by the way, if you like my floss drops, I have a how to make a floss drop tutorial that you can watch, and you too can have really awesome floss drops like this, which now I've found some other hole punches where I'm going to make them smaller. But if you like these, I have a tutorial just for you. So, yeah, not going to market myself at all. All right, so here's January, and here's what the star looks like. I like that star. They have it on white. Colors pop a little more. Even though, they're light colors, they still pop. So I started this today, so I guess technically you could call this a start. And I think it's going to be okay. So here's my start. Okay, not a lot done, but I like it much better on this white Lugana. And it's not flimsy. It's a really nice, Zweigart has really nice fabric. I like theirs. So there you go. So we'll see if I can keep this one going. And the saga continues. Okay. Yeah, we are what we teach. Middle schoolers love drama. I teach middle school and they love drama. Some of them just can't get enough drama. Okay, I've got a nail that has now chipped and is wanting to come off. I was trying this new nail polish, non sequitur here, and it's a very pretty nail polish, but I don't think my nails are liking it so much. I thought it was going to be okay, but they're not. In case you want to know the brand, I'll just tell you, I've tried Olive and June. That's what this brand is. But I want you to check out what a nail, I mean, it's chipped. I'm not trying to give you the finger or anything. That's the one that chipped. So I may go back to my OPI nail polish. So just decide that has nothing whatsoever to do with cross stitch. Okay, but this does. All right, so my full coverage. I was working on Buster Keaton. And so then I thought, I'm really wanting to do a Lincoln collage piece and put it in our annual Lincoln Days celebration. There's an art contest. And so I wanted to try my hand at that. I am a local. Well, I was a local. I am a native, and I thought I need to do something like that. So I found a little, it's like a picture collage program that you can use for free online. And I found some photos and I started manipulating it and came up with several different configurations. And then finally, with the help of my husband and my parents helping me choose, I have selected the collage pattern that I want to use. So we've got the iconic image of Lincoln in the middle. And then over on the sides, we've got one of him, one of Mary. We've got one of him with one of the boys, one of his kids, and then the Lincoln Memorial over at Lincoln's birthplace in Hodgenville, and then the boyhood home, which is going towards another county, towards Bardstown. We've got the boyhood home cabin there, and then the refurbished statue. It was refurbished around the year I graduated from high school. Still looking good. They keep him cleaned pretty well, and he's on the square. So I've got this, and I went through an online program called threadbare.com, and I'll put a link down below. And Threadbare will take photos that you have and transfer them into cross-stitch patterns. So far what I've seen, it looks good, because some programs don't do a good job with it. It looks pixelated when they do it, and that is awful when you put all that stitching time in and it doesn't look good because it looks pixelated. So they show you the mock-up, they say, is as close to what it's actually going to look like as possible. So the mock-ups were looking good. Now, here's the thing before I show you what this thing looks like. So it's going to be colossal. If you do it on, now normally, like the other full coverage I've done has been on 18 count, and my eyes were going, ooh. So I don't know how in the world I'm going to do Heaven and Earth later on when it's going to be basically 1/1 on a 25 count. We'll see. I may be able to do it. I don't know. But I thought I was going to try to do 1/1 25 count for this. And I thought, no, this is Lincoln, needs to be bigger anyway. So I have ordered some 16 count Aida. I prefer to use Aida for the full coverage because just the nature of full coverage, your eyes do they can start to give out on you. and even with good light. And it's just, I just find it easier to manage with Aida, and nobody's going to see it anyway. So I don't like spending more money on even weave or linen when, again, no one's going to see it. They're just going to see the picture. So it's better to do it on Aida. Unless you hate stitching on Aida, it's cheaper, and it's a little bit easier, especially with older eyes. So I'm going to do 16 count. This thing is going to be 37 by 28. 37 by 28. The stitch count, all right, what did they do with my stitch count? Oh, here we go. The stitch count is, I need my calculator. It's 600 wide, 600 stitches wide by 450 stitches high. You do the math. Yeah. 304 colors. Yep. Not joking. It's going to be good when I get done with it, but it's going to take a while. But I asked my mother, I said, should I continue with Buster or should I start the Lincoln? She said, start the Lincoln because it's going to take you a while. And I guess she wants to see the Lincoln. So we're going to do Lincoln. So here he is. Here it is. So I like the way the pictures have laid out. I like the way Lincoln and Mary look like they're looking at each other, and the iconic picture is actually framed in the middle. So there you go. I have decided, let me put this back up here. I have decided that, and I mean, you know, there's no name to it. All patterns have names to them, except when you put them through programs like this, they don't. So I give it a name, just like my Michael Jackson piece was The Master at Work. I named that. I am going to name this one Log Cabin Legacy. I thought that was apropos for this, Log Cabin Legacy. So that will be my 5th piece in the rotation, and it's going to be my full coverage piece. So we'll see how it goes. I'm excited. My fabric should be in a few days. And so I'm trying to put in like 3 hours or so on a piece and then rotate to the next piece and do it for 3 hours instead of doing it by days, because there may be some days I'm lucky to get in 30 minutes. So it, you know, unless you know, during the summer I can do a little more, but right now not as much. So anyway, there's that. Okay, so now I have my one piece of haul. Actually, well, no, I lied. Actually, I guess you could count this as 2 pieces. Everybody was talking about the heat erasable fabric marking pens, and I'd heard about them, and they said, you know, you can iron it and it'll disappear. And I thought, well, okay, I could really use this. I think it would really help. And so I bought these from Madame So, or Madame So. So there they are, okay. And they come in, they give you a, let's see, first of all, they come in white, red, blue, and black. And they each have one refill that comes with them. And I've tried the red. The red's the only one I've tried. The white, they said you have to mark with it a little bit, and it's like a delay, and then it appears. So I've tried the red, and because I was trying to mark to cut some fabric, and by golly, if it didn't work, it ironed right out like that, no problem whatsoever. I was using steam, so just so you know that I was using steam, but yeah, it came out just as clear as can be. I'm like, yay. And it was on the edges, so it wouldn't have mattered that much, but still I was very happy to see that. Okay, so there's that one. And I will, let's see, I think I got these from Amazon, so I will see if I can find them again and put a link down below. The other piece of haul that I got, I have never done a complete sampler ever. So I wanted a sampler where I could somehow fit in either the initials or put in the names, at least first name, of some of my family members. Like, I'm talking pretty much immediate family, like my parents, my brother, my niece, my husband, and all 4 of my grandparents. I would like to have all of them in the sampler. And so I bought this one. It's called Bluebirds and Bluebells. It's a sampler and also has some, you can make some smalls from it. And it's from Pansy Quilts and Stitchery. It says, Bluebirds and Bluebells fill a garden with joy. And then down at the bottom it says, and love fills a home with happiness. So it's got a house there, and I wanted the whole family feel to it. So here it is. And so I will probably take, I don't know if I want to take things out inside the pattern or if I want to put the names around the border. I kind of like the idea of putting everyone's names in the, like putting them in the border. Because I like everything in here the way that it is. I like all the little motifs in there and stuff. So that'll be one I start at some point, but I really liked that. And the pattern is nice and clear, and so that was really cool. Okay, now I think the last thing I've got is my crazy craft tip. You know, I gotta have my crazy craft tip. So my crazy craft tip for you today, and this is more for the newer stitchers, although I had to learn this lesson the hard way, so maybe some of you more seasoned stitchers like me may need a reminder, or maybe you haven't tried this before. Who knows? We're you know, I'm always up for learning new things. Dick Van Dyke, you know, we all know Dick Van Dyke. He's endeared himself to us through Mary Poppins, where he was Bert the Chimney Sweep, and he had his own TV show, well, a couple of TV shows. You know, the Dick Van Dyke Show, Diagnosis Murder, you know, so just wonderful guy. And he actually competed on The Masked Singer earlier, and he was the first one eliminated. But you should have seen, if you haven't seen the audience reaction to him, you need to look that up on YouTube. They show, it's the first reveal of the season, the 23 season. And just the audience reaction when they realized it was him. Just the admiration and the awe was just, I teared up. It was just something else. But he just said, and he's 97, okay? And he just said that he has started ukulele lessons. He is learning how to play the ukulele. And he said, you are never too old to learn. So I think that way with our cross stitch. You are never too old to learn. And especially the last few years where they've just come out with so many different fabrics and types of floss and just some wonderful things that even when I started stitching in the early 90s, you didn't have that. Your choices were white and white, pretty much. Yeah, there were, I mean, they had a few things, but not the variety that we have today. So I always like to give these craft tips out and hope that they help people. Just little things, and sometimes little reminders, because I even need reminders of some things too, because I'll fall into some bad practices and need reminding. But there are no hard and fast rules to cross stitch. It's a hobby. It's for you to enjoy. And if you're doing something the wrong way, who cares? If it's something you enjoy, you like doing it that way, do it that way. There are some best practices or things that can make it a little bit easier, maybe more enjoyable for you. So this time, it's marking your pattern. So when you buy a pattern, like when I bought this one, you need to, okay, I won't say need. It's advisable to make a copy of your pattern. Go to Staples or somewhere, make a photocopy of your pattern. if you have a printer that will print out things, make a copy of your pattern. Use the copy to mark on if you like paper patterns. And I used to use pencil. That pencil though can get all over your hands, gets all over everything. So highlighter is cleaner and better. Now, a lot of people don't want to put highlighters in their project bags because they're afraid it's going to get all over other stuff. So if you're concerned about the highlighter leaking or anything like that, the cap coming undone, then just put it in like a little Ziploc bag or something and then put it in your project bag. But I've gone to using highlighters exclusively now on my patterns. I print them out, use the highlighter to just keep up with where I am, and it works beautifully. Now, there are people who will not use paper copies at all anymore. With Pattern Keeper and some other programs, everybody wants to use like their iPad or something, and there's a highlighter mechanism on there where you can highlight. So if you prefer doing that, go for it. I don't like it myself. I guess because I look at computers so much, I just need a break from the screen. And so I really prefer paper patterns. I've got, there's somebody in my Stitch group who said she hates paper patterns. I mean, she absolutely will not use paper patterns anymore. She always uses Pattern Keeper or something like that. And that's great. That is fine. So I'm not disparaging either one. My personal preference, just because I look at the screen so much, I like to have a break from it, and I like paper. Now I read from Kindle, but I also like my paper books too. So if you do use paper patterns, it's best practice if you make a copy of it, and that way you've still got your original that you can keep, and maybe you can stitch it again at some point if you want to. So paper pattern, using a highlighter to highlight where you've stitched, and it'll just make things a lot easier and cleaner, and then you won't have, your original pattern will not be marked up, it will stay pristine, and you will be happy. So there you have it. Those are my 5, and that's going to be in my rotation for a while. So hopefully next time when I do a FlossTube, I can show you before and after pictures like I used to do, because I feel like I'm kind of not really starting over, but okay, this is where my whip was 10 years ago, so that's where we are. But anyway, I hope that you have enjoyed your visit to the craft room today. I hope that it looks neater the next time you visit the craft room, and maybe I can show you some new things I put in here to make it a little more festive and pretty and maybe Victorian, whatever. So I hope you get lots of happy stitching in the next few weeks, and be creative, be blessed, and I will see you later.